roadblock on your road to financial success. Stewart Welch joins us to explain how things could be for you in your future. Good to see you this morning. He is from the Welch Group here on Money Tuesday. And you know, you're also going to help some folks who maybe couples, young couples, are getting started out as well with some of this advice. But you know, these are big roadblocks, I know, and a lot of people hit them. And one of those is debt.
Debt, and I think, Michael, probably the biggest roadblock to success for most people is debt. And so they've got to overcome this. The good news is, you know, unemployment is down, so we're seeing people get jobs. We're also, the economy's perking along, so it's beginning to pick up, and the stock market all-time
It's doing
highs.
well. So if you check your 401k lately, it's doing well right now.
It's doing very well. So I think the first thing is, let's talk about the debt rule.
Yes.
So people are using debt to buy things, and the debt rule is that you don't buy anything that does not hold its value. So in other words, if you got in trouble, you need to be able to sell it and pay off the debt.
But now a car depreciates in value.
So
most people have after car.
That's great. So so Mike, that's a great point.
Okay.
So the idea behind, say, buying a car would be you put more money down. So you put enough money down so that you're under that debt. You know, that the car is actually worth more than the loan against the car.
Okay.
Another great example, if you said, I'm going to borrow money to buy clothes. Well, clothes aren't worth anything, so that would just totally violate the debt rule.
Right.
But if you were using debt to buy a house, typically that would work fine.
Or some property, or like you said, even investments.
Investments.
Which is taking your money, it's not credit, but it's investments. I do want to ask you real quickly about the car thing, though, because we do hear other financial advisors say, well, you should only buy cars with cash. Well, not everybody has enough cash to buy a decent car nowadays.
Well, and you're exactly right. So I think what you do is you start out not violating the debt rule, coming up with enough down payment so that you can, and then once you pay that car off, keep making that car payment, and you just keep that car until you've stored up enough cash to pay cash for the next one, break the cycle.
My parents have done that. I need to follow suit.
Yeah.
Anyway, so now solution number one, though, to getting out of debt, though.
Well, I think one of the big problems is credit cards. So credit cards are very easy to get, and there are good reasons to have credit cards. So they help establish credit. They help establish identity. You get rewards. So there are a lot of good reasons to have them. But I think the key to credit cards is to limit the number. So personally, I have 3 credit cards. One that I use strictly for personal, one that I use strictly for business, and then one that I use for things that are deductible, like if I make a gift to charity, so I can kind of keep up with it really well. And just reducing the number really helps you, so that's a good idea. And I think here's one of the big keys. When people spend money on credit cards, it's hard to keep up with your spending. So what we recommend is in your checkbook, when you actually use your credit card, you enter that charge just as if you had written a check. So it's right here, you write it in that 4 column.
Okay.
And then deduct it from your balance. So you do want to keep up with your balance. That helps you keep up with how much money is in your account. And then when you get ready to pay off your bill, since you've already deducted it as you went, you don't deduct that big charge, and that'll really help you do that.
You know, we've talked before about trying to get out of debt, and there are a lot of companies out there to promote themselves as consolidating debt companies, companies that will negotiate on your behalf to try to bring down that debt. Are either of those really good ideas?
Well, I think it's a lot of caution around that. So the first thing is, if you're in really bad trouble with that, there are some companies, some legitimate companies, that will help you resolve that. But those are people that are really bad trouble. Generally, debt consolidation loans are not good. So I think for most people, you can do this yourself. But if you're really down and out, that is probably something that you want to check with an advisor, check with your accountant, let them steer you to the right companies, because some of these companies get you in more problems than you're trying to get out.
All right, Stewart, thank you so much. Stewart Welch from the Welch Group. We appreciate it.
Thank you, and happy Valentine's.
Yeah, same to you, sir. All right, let's check in with Janice now.
All right.